Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D. With me today, special guest.
I'm Porter. I play the onepiecetcg, and I am here.
Fantastic. Yes, you are. We got 2 games ahead of us today. Which of those games going to be today?
So I believe our last match is Sakazuki versus Red-Green Luffy.
Mm-hmm. And Red-Green Luffy has been on the table this whole time.
Yep.
And from what I understand, the blue-black Sakazuki, he's the big bad of the meta. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, at least for the next few weeks before it gets banned.
It was that much of a problem child. All right.
I mean, it took up like 7 out of 8 of the top spots for Worlds.
Wow. We got an amazing showdown between blue-black Sakazuki versus that red-green Luffy that has been dominating the table. Greg has just been an absolute slayer. And I believe this blue-black deck from Bailey here, he was a new player coming down from up in Nova?
Maybe. He's not someone I've seen around the store much, so...
Yeah, and I think he's made that trek because he knows he's going to be doing one of those online tournaments, the one that you're going to be doing. And he was preparing for it. He wanted to use this big bad deck the last few weeks he can possibly get it. Now, if you're out there in the chat today, we are giving this away. And if you're out there on YouTube and see this stuff, just know that if you come to us live every Monday, 6 o'clock, where we do the coverage, and the normal coverage when I'm not having to do a vacation, you will get your chance to get some awesome product that we're giving away every single chat. Well, last time we gave away the best card out of one of those little promo packs. Today we're giving out 2 packs. The first person that gets the die roll is going to get this one, an opportunity to get the best card of the deck, which is...
Best card of what? The Bond Clay from...
The Bond Clay. Yep. And I already pulled one of these and gave it away. So if you come out that tournament, I might even just give it to you as extra prize support. Come out. We're trying to get to the community. And the Big Bang, so you're saying there's a chance. $3,500 Manga Luffy could be in this pack. Could be anything else too, but it could be a Luffy. So go ahead and help us out there. Hit it in the chat, interact with it, get us going as we get ready to go into our first bit of deck tech. Are you ready for explaining these decks for us?
Yep.
All right, let's get started on blue-black Sakazuki.
All right. Here's the deck, and yeah, it's Sakazuki. I mean, this is the best deck in the game. Just having the leader ability to pitch 1, cycle 1, just cycling a card every turn, having constant access to removal in cards like the Rob Lucci or the Brook or the Borsalinos or the event cards. Mm-hmm. And you also just have the 8-drop Moria, which is one of the most insane cards of all time. You have your standard plays like Rebecca, get a Hina from grave, play the Hina, and then Hina -4 to something, so you're also getting bodies on board. This deck is just crazy, and the amount of event cards are in this deck seem to be some of the highest I've seen yet to date. What is that, a total of 12? Yeah, a total of 12 event cards. And it's not something I normally see. Is that just because different archetypes do better with event cards, or? Yeah, I mean, it's just because this deck gets to play so many good ones, like... because you have the constant cost reduction, mm-hmm. The event cards like Houndblaze and the Sword are just very free in terms of like how much you can get off of them. You have the Great Eruptions, which is just drawing a card, and another card that'll be going soon.
All right, makes sense to me. Why only 1 copy of this Bartholomew? Man, we got 1 copy here. This looks like a nice little spice here.
Oh, the Borsalino?
Borsalino, sorry.
Yeah, 1 Borsalino is typically not as many as you'd play, but I kind of see the reasoning for it because, I mean, you have so many other options at this point, and you can dedicate so many of like your other things. Like you can just do a lot of what it does, but cheaper. So it's a decent card, and I get why it's at 1 of, because this deck seems to be playing a lot of 1-ofs just because of how much of your deck you're going to be seeing over the course of the game, that Absolutely. You're reliably going to be seeing most of the cards, even if they are 1-ofs, because of just how insane this deck is.
Okay. All right. And then up against this one, the leader of the table, the one that's been taking these things down almost every single round, our big red-green. What is this deck trying to do?
So this deck is trying to play a bunch of rushers and constantly restand units using leader and just kill you into the sun. You're just constantly playing aggro, just wanting to swing with the value. You've got crazy cards from EB01 with the Kid and Killer, being able to get a ton of attack if you're able to constantly restand it. And then you have the Cavendish, which gets you a lot of just free Dawn. Bonnie, to this day, is still one of the best searchers in the game, despite being there since the beginning. And just being able to be super aggressive is really what this deck excels at. Is just the amount of aggro it is.
And it's got one of my favorite cards, Tony Chopper. So, I mean, he's a blocker. He's cute. He loves cotton candy. Who doesn't? But the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Chopper from this new pack. Like, I hope that one of these days I own my own Tony Chopper. It's not an expensive card, is it?
The base rarity, no.
Okay. But there's a nice little special one that gets a little
There's an alt art and then there's a manga art.
Oh, manga art. Does the manga art still have the cotton candy? That's important.
I don't think the manga has the cotton candy. Like, not 100% sure though.
I'm sure there's money in it at some point, but if it doesn't have the cotton candy, it's not Tony Chopper. Alrighty, how about this? Let's get ourselves into gameplay. We got Bailey at the top with our reigning table champion Greg, who just dominated that table today. Let's get into the gameplay, shall we? As soon as I decide to pull this thing up here. I swear, I'm a professional. Alrighty. Let's skip ahead, get rid of the one piece of shuffling here. Now, Bailey is a first-time shower at LifeLink Games here. 7 to start from Greg. Let's see if he wins this. Told us 8 is going to get his choice. What does this deck normally want to do?
Usually I feel like with Sakazuki, you want to be on the draw because you have a lot of units that play into the odd curve.
Okay.
I think after 6, maybe there's an argument to be on the play because you have more 1-drops that search. But from what I remember, the deck does seem to like being on the draw just because a lot of black decks, especially like Navy-centric black decks, really care about just being able to get on the even curve. Their main searcher is 2-drops, so that really helps.
Absolutely. And then obviously the red-green would probably want to be on the play. With the Nami, the backup player with the Bonnie.
Yeah, I mean,
really good start.
It can. This deck, I can see both an argument for going on the play and on the draw.
And I think against you, it was a heads-up play because he knew that your curve was a little worse.
Yeah.
By making you go first. But I'm just curious, like, what's the most play? All right, we got some good bro behavior right there. I love that.
All right, so the Luffy is on the play.
All right, so that it means
played the Bonnie and pass.
Suzuki would just pass it right away. Good start from this red-green Luffy. Starting off with some kind of Bonnie. Obviously can't get the utilization of the effect, but still getting on the board early. Really effective.
Yeah. Although maybe that's not the greatest thing into black because they just have so much removal, especially Sakazuki, where if they want to remove it before they even have the chance. Here we're using leader to pitch a card to draw a card.
Okay.
And we're passing.
Something you usually see. Notice he didn't attack because he couldn't. There we go.
Now we're tapping the Bonnie to get a bunch of value.
This card's just so insane. We've seen this thing already for 3 different games here, just loading him up here.
Yep.
Nice little counter card here.
Yep.
And a good little 1-drop, so you might be able to... Is that a card you keep in hand or a card you want to play?
Usually from what I've seen, this is a card that you just use because it's a 2K counter that has supernovas.
Okay. So something you can grab and then add to the hand. Okay.
Right.
So he's already getting 1 life off from Sakazuki here. Really good start for the red-green player. As we talked about before, they really like to rush the board as much as possible with all those big rush cards that they have.
Okay. Now it looks like Sakazuki is swinging first. I'm guessing probably into the Bonnie.
I'd imagine you'd want to get rid of this thing.
Oh, no, swinging into life. Maybe using leader second effect to reduce the cost of the Bonnie, or maybe we just are.
So if the cost gets below 0, it's trashed?
No, it's just. I don't know. I feel like definitely swinging into the Bonnie there. Where, like, maybe they just have the removal, but they have the Rebecca, so they can get back the Brook in trash, play the Brook, and
trash the Bonnie.
Yeah.
Nice. There, Greg can be in a hand model now. You know, honestly, I think you're 100% right, Ver. He can be a hand model. The man has been all over this camera. You got to make sure you get one of those beautiful lights from, what was that movie? It was Ben Stiller back in he was the model, right? And he was, they had that one look, the Magnum. Am I just dating myself with how old this was? Zoolander. I don't know why it took me so long. Yeah. Like, there was a hand model out there that had one of those little neon lights that fit over top of his hand and to protect it and keep it. We need to get one of these for Greg.
Yeah. All right. So looks like we were attempting to swing into either. I don't know if we were swinging into the Brook or the lead, but we used the Rebecca as a blocker.
Okay. Would you want to prioritize getting into Brook over the lead here?
Yeah, because this is just constant removal. Brook's effect is on play or on attack, cost -1, and then KO is 0 cost.
Wow. Okay, so that's exactly what we just saw last turn. Getting rid of that, that beautiful heads-up play to knock out Bonnie. I can see exactly why people called him the big bad. This man has got some impressive... And this is only one of these Brooks in the deck. We saw that deck list.
Yeah, I mean, you're just cycling so much that I guess you can reliably see it when you need it, and you have so many other options that, like, playing one, you're still going to probably see it enough.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to see Bailey here looking like he's trying to tap one.
Is that a Great Eruption potentially in the future? That would be really good here because we can Great Eruption, -2 the chopper, swing. Okay, it does not look like that's what we're doing. Okay, we're going for brand new. Okay. Oh, there's the Great Eruption. So we can still do that play. Yep, adding that to hand. That is 100% correct.
This will take care of Tony Chopper?
It'll cost -2 to the chopper to put it at 1 cost, draw him a card, and then...
Brook will finish him off.
Yeah, and then the Brook will be able to out it. So, yeah.
Wow.
Here we see that.
No, Tony Chopper. Now, wait. On attack, before blockers is how Brook works? So he can kill the Tony Chopper before Tony just sets the block? Wow. Wow. That is a powerful one-up card in his deck. I'm surprised it's not a 2.
And we're KOing it and swinging 5 into life.
Okay.
And
all right, we got a nice little save counter.
And now we're swinging another 6 into life. And it looks like we are taking.
Adam's resources here. Red-green just full of resources.
And here's the Tashigi, which is the other searcher for Sakazuki.
Okay.
So this also adds Navy cards. Adding another brand new there, so that's just
you got a great mill on the first time. I imagine this one's gonna be another one when he can play it, but tapped out for none, so that's not gonna see play today.
Yeah.
Red-green really gonna have to start setting up that board state, kind of like one of those double rush cards we saw last time. He's a little bit low on life. It's 3-2 in Bailey's favor right now, but he is playing against Red-green rush, so I imagine we're gonna see maybe Greg go into a double rush play like we've seen before. Maybe
potentially.
He's only got 7 Dawns, so I think maybe I'm off by 1. So it's 2/4 rushers. They're pretty powerful, right?
There's also it looked like we're swinging potentially into the Brook, it seems.
That would make sense.
Just try to get the removal out of there, or at least force them to have another Rebecca. 2K to protect the Brook. 3, there's the Zoro. Swing another into the Brook.
Now he can get his Brook back, though, can he?
If he has a Rebecca, then yes.
Yeah. So a really dangerous play getting this all. I understand the reasoning, because can he kill the Zoro with a nice little combo attack with Sakazuki here?
I think there needs to be one more cost reduction. Okay, we're playing the Sanji.
Interesting. Yeah, we got a chat here. First time chatter. Hey, Joe. Thank you. Red-green Luffy. Whoa. Yes, this one has been dominating the table. So if you think that this thing was not meta, Greg is here to say otherwise. So what's the Sanji do?
I believe it is Dawn ×1 gain attack. It's something related to gaining attack equal to the number of rested Dawn you have.
Okay. Oh, wow.
The main reason I think it sees plays is because it's a 2K counter.
Makes sense. Trying to see the Sakazuki play, see if he can get that Brook back.
Yep. All right. Pitching Sword to cycle a card.
And he's digging for basically, you said, who again, Rebecca?
Rebecca. Honestly, I think at this point, Gecko Moria is also an option.
The big bad.
7 Dawn, so this should be a 8 Dawn turn. So yes, Gecko Moria is an option at this point that could potentially win the game.
Really, just win the game outright?
I mean...
Or just take enough control that it just wins, yeah?
Gecko Moria is one of the craziest cards ever. It's basically a 1 card +3, so it pretty much wins the game on its own.
Wow.
All right, looks like we're swinging in with the Sakazuki first. Not sure what we're swinging into, but we countered out of it. And now we're resting 2 for bottom deck that. Okay, so we were, yep. And now the brand new is at 6K.
Wow, okay. So that one gets a free swing at the lead.
Yep.
See if we can dwindle those resources. All right, so adding another 1K. So we're at 7K?
Yep. Which is usually what you want to be swinging into lead with, so
yeah,
that's good.
That's that sweet spot, right?
Yeah. There's a Sabo to draw 2, discard 2, and gain KO protection, although I'm not sure how many cards that KO are being played in this red-green Luffy deck. But it's also a blocker, which is...
And really relevant.
Yeah.
So we're going to discard 2.
Yep.
We've got at least 2K on a hand. Not bad, but I imagine he's going to be digging for a Gecko or a Rebecca. Gecko probably priority 1, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Gecko probably just clears out the game, depending on what Greg does.
Okay. He's got 4 copies in the deck. The first game we had with Midnight Witch, do you see any in her deck? I forgot to look.
Yes, I believe there were 4 Gecko in that deck.
4 Gecko? Okay.
I mean, it's just...
It is a card.
It's the best card in the game, pretty much.
So it looks like I'm going to have to pause real quick. Let's get back into the gameplay, shall we?
All right. Looks like we're playing that Cavendish.
Yeah.
Getting those 2 Dawn back. Really strong.
Only 1 blocker from the Sakazuki here. See if he puts in some more rush power. Oh,
all right. Playing a Nami. Probably just looking for a Zoro or something here.
I imagine. Really needs to get those attackers up and get through those. He's got 1 blocker to fight through and 3 life, and he's only on 1 himself. Yeah. So needing to put a little more pressure on Sakazuki to take this game back in his favor.
All right, adding a Radical Beam, that is a great defensive tool.
All right. See if he has the Zoro. Usually you'll see him attack after. I mean, notice when I'm watching Greg here, he likes to attack after lead with the Zoro. Is that kind of like a mental, situation? What do you think?
So if he's playing the Zoro after attacking with lead, that is because if their opponent has a trigger that could have out the Zoro, that way, that goes and doesn't have an optimal target and can swing freely with the Zoro.
Oh, excellent. All right, so digging deep here. Look at his graveyard, or look at his trash bin. So there's a lot of trash recursion in this deck, I imagine. This is an indication he's got Rebecca, maybe?
Rebecca or Moria.
Okay. Moria also has a trash effect. Okay.
Yep. All right, we're swinging with 6 into Sanji, although it's a bit more. I don't know off the top of my head how much the Sanji gains.
So we're seeing a tap from Sabo here. What is this?
Blocker, and then...
Is this an indication that he's blocking? Or,
yeah.
Okay. Using the blocking effect. Oh, okay.
To block, you rest a unit.
Excellent. Okay. And that's something I often see because Tony Shopper just hits the bin instantly here.
Yeah.
But this one, he tapped it because he was going to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
All right. Swinging 8 into the Sabo. Get rid of that blocker.
Fantastic. Got it off the field here.
Yeah.
Now 3-1. only aggression. I mean, he could load up the Dawn on these two characters here if he wanted to. But I don't imagine that's going to be the play. What do you think? Is it a Gecko? Did we see a Gecko?
Looks like that's a Gecko, which is 3 cards on its own. So
yeah. I'm looking at the shiny. I don't know. Yeah, you can probably see it at home. We got a good look here with this beautiful 6K camera that LifeLink decided to hook us up with, so we can really improve the quality for you at home. But I'm pretty sure that's a Gecko. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a master of this game by any means, but looking at the shine, I looked like he was trying to flashbang my camera again. There was a stream you missed here where the Magic Gathering players were playing with so much foliage that it just flashbanged my camera and I couldn't get the focus back. It was insane. We started doing some memes about, just like it being a Call of Duty stream.
All right. Well, there's the 8 Dawn for the Gecko.
Yeah.
At least separating it. Okay, so we're swinging with the leader first to reduce the cost of something, probably.
Okay.
And we're countering out of that.
Does that still reduce the cost?
Yeah, it's just on attack, and yep, there's the Gecko.
So Gecko's going to get what? 2 back cards back here?
Yep, it's going to get a 4-drop and a 2-drop, and now the Rebecca can get the Brook.
Oh, wow. What a turn. No wonder this is a big bad. Did you...
Oh, and we're getting the Hina, which makes sense.
Okay, add that 2K back to hand? Or to the bin? Is it a swap?
It's putting it on board, and that's another -4, and now we're sorting to bottom deck 2.
Wow, what a turn. I can understand why people are saying this is a big bad. That is a disgusting turn. Gecko Moria just restacking what was a promising board state for Greg to overcome.
Yep, and now we're just cycling a card because that's what Sakazuki does. And
I mean, we got wow. All right, so any blockers left here on Bailey's side of the field here?
Yes, the Rebecca is a blocker.
Okay, so we got 1 blocker to fight through, 3 life, and 1 attacker. Maybe 2 if he wants to load up the Dawn on Nami. But really, full Dawn needs to have double rush here. LifeLink, hey, appreciate it. We got ourselves a gifted sub to Sakazuki. I can't say it. Suzuki. And English is my first language, I swear. I don't even know if it's English. But Sasuke. Read that.
Sazkiki?
Sasuke? Well, this is going to be the greatest thing. Thank you very much, LifeLink, for gifting that. And Sasuke, thank you for joining us in the chat. Just hit one thing. Hello, hey. Get yourself enrolled in the opportunity to win one of these 2 packs at the end of this game.
So here we're going with the Cavendish.
All we need is something in the chat because we'll be die rolling at the conclusion here. And I promise you, there's a good opportunity. We got some beautiful content and some beautiful product here. You might have your chance to win.
All right. So we played the Cavendish. Not sure what else we're going to be doing this turn. We could load up the Nami. If we potentially have a Kid Killer, although the effect on Kid Killer is not live, it is just a rush. Mm-hmm. All right. It looks like we're going to go 6 into...
Lead?
It's either lead or the Hina.
All right, he's deep in the tank. Something I see a lot of your players say, oh, okay.
And there's the 2K counter.
But as you said last time, as soon as this thing hits the board, I mean, Gecko is going to be a powerful attacker. We got lead and attacker. We got all that open Dawn. I don't know how Red-Green gets out of this. Do you know?
Not really. I mean, this is a very precarious position to be in, and this is why Sakazuki is such a dominant deck right now.
Yeah, right?
Hey, well, there's a rush unit.
Okay.
We don't have the Dawn to make it so that it's unblockable, but it's at least another swing that will either force out a blocker. Okay, we're swinging into the Hina, so that forces the blocker there.
Okay. So maybe even forcing a Sakazuki thing to try to control the board state and maybe kind of bluff him away from Dawn, or from lead, sorry. He's going to untap here, 3 cards in hand.
I mean, I think this is probably just the end of the game.
With so many attackers, okay, you're in this position. What are you doing? You're loading up the Dawn on all these characters and just going into lead and just trying to end it right now?
Yeah, I would just keep swinging into lead. I would probably not swing with lead first because you want to swing with your characters in case they have a trigger.
That makes sense.
But
and red green does have triggers to remove character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's another 7.
You gotta save.
Yep.
Double cost save. Ooh.
2. Having to use 2 2Ks, meaning that there was not a 1K in that hand, which potentially means we're out of blockers.
Or counters, right?
Or counters, yeah. And now we're swinging 5, and that is...
That's game 1.
That was a radical beam. I don't... the game was over no matter what.
He had the Gecko Mori on the next attack. I think he already realized he'd already worked him out of his resources. And I think really what Greg was trying to do here was set up some kind of game state to hope that the Sakazuki player would prioritize cleaning the board over going lead. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. But if you have lethal, you just go for it.
Remember that at home. And it's important. Because sometimes people do get distracted. And that's kind of like the heads up. Midnight Witch, all right. You got yourself in the chat. I mean, you're already in the chat. So appreciate you. One more game, maybe 2 more games. Let's see. We got 25 minutes. These games can be fast. They can be slow. We have no idea. This is One Piece. And the reason why I do 3 games, best 2 out of 3, is to get you more content. Because I've been able to play some of these games. And I swear they're so fast. Some of these games you play out, especially in red-green, it can be a 10-minute game. It's just done. But all right. So we have on, I guess this was choice by Greg here to put him on the play.
Yep. Using the Tashiki Searcher to add a Navy card. We'll see what we get off of this. Seems like we're looking at hand to see what we want off of the search.
Absolutely. Sasuke, I appreciate you putting that chat. You're in the running now. Anybody out there that's in that chat land, I know that there's some people out there on X right now, and I do apologize. I can't get that feed to lead you into it. But if you want to jump over to here on Twitch, just join us on Twitch, hit that like, hit the subscribe, go to put something in the chat and get your chance to win one of these 2 packs. We're giving away both to 2 different people. All right, back to the gameplay. Start it off.
All right, so here's the first turn of the red-green Luffy. There's the Bonnie.
That perfect Bonnie play. That's exactly what you want to be onto.
Yeah.
Taking 5 deep, can we see what all right.
And there's the Kid Killer, which means that we can put pressure on pretty early because of that rush.
Good heads-up play. So what would you say, tier-wise, would the chances of red-green really taking down the Sakazuki? Does it need to just get super lucky? Does it need to be just have that perfect aggro hand? Or do you think that this is a good 50-50 just based on gameplay?
I guess it depends on like how much like what like the hands are, and like if red green can get in before Sakazuki gets a chance to really build up its board and gets off to the races, then it can easily take over if it has an established lead, but right now it doesn't seem like it. And there's the Brook to take care of the Bonnie.
That one of, he's seen in both games too. Absolutely impressive against. I think Brook is probably the best card I've seen against this deck. Just being able to knock that Bonnie, knock the other one drop that red green plays, the
Nami
and Bonnie. That's right. Yeah, Nami and Bonnie.
All right, and there's the Nami.
Probably not long for this world, considering that Brook effect. It just costs 1 Don to bury her, essentially.
Just an attack.
Just an attack. Wow. Doesn't even need to put a Don in there. Just
to do damage.
Yep.
And we're adding the Sanji off that, so that's a 2K.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Notably, the Brook can attack a unrested, and kill it, trash it. Sorry.
It can KO it. Yes.
Yes.
And we're swinging 5 into life. See if we take it.
That's just a bait to get some resources out of his hands? Or...
Potentially.
Okay. He's obviously got a 3K play here.
And there's the Zoro.
Okay.
So that's going to be another 5 into life. We'll see if this one takes. Having to spend a 2K on that is...
That's a huge tell. That's a huge tell.
That's really rough.
No 1Ks in hands means so you can start playing that game that red-green does so well. We'll see if Greg can turn it in his favor here. So we're going to see, what, 7? Was this 5? This is 5 Dawn from the Sakazuki player?
Yep.
Okay. This is the turn where they get out the Sabos and maybe a Rebecca play here?
I don't know what's in trash. I don't know if we have like something good to get off of a Rebecca here.
LifeLink says, yeah, no sweat. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, Sasuke. And maybe send us phonetics because we're so bad at this. All right, so lead ability.
All right, pitching the Kuzan off of that is good.
Good for the Sakazuki player, or
yeah.
Okay.
Getting that engrave is just really good.
Extra value.
Yeah, because if we get that back, that's a free draw, and then on attack, that's something that reduces cost.
Who would have thought Sakazuki and Kazuki would have been, working together? I mean, now that they're ultimate enemies.
I mean, this Kuzan card is from Marineford, so...
Oh, okay, so this is actually when they're on the same side.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is pre him deciding to take his own justice into his own hands.
Right, which means joining one of the most violent pirate crews imaginable.
Logic sense, right?
Yeah.
I want justice. Let's join a pirate crew.
and not just any pirate crew, but Blackbeard.
Oh, I can't wait to see the rematch between him and Luffy.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get one. Oh, here we go.
There we go, and that takes care of all that.
Gets another one back to the hand. Vera says, Sasuke, legendary OP player in the Southeast Asia. Oh, okay, wow, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Thank you for attending us, and I appreciate your presence here. That wasn't offensive, right?
I hope not.
All right, we'll just put that on a prayer. Thanks, Porter. Hey, I need to get some of these emotes. If you guys can help us out in that plus goal, if I get up there, I can get those cool emotes, because that's a cool one. I want that one. Dancing dinosaurs or dragons? I'm going to call it dragon because I'm a big dragon fan. Not just Monkey.D.Luffy, but dragon. All right, so we're going to see a massive rush card here, imagine. 5 Dawn. Here we go.
Oh, there's the Cavendish.
So that's a really good heads-up play, getting that board state back in his favor. It's a little bit harder for that Brook to trash, would you say?
Potentially. If there's like a Rebecca in the future, then that can easily get it down into Brook range. Or not Rebecca, Hina.
Hina, okay.
And there's a Bonnie. That's pretty good. That's some value. And
something like he has to play on too, because he knows that Brook's just going to kill it.
Yeah. Or could just swing in with like the Tashigi. Okay. Getting a 2K off of that. That's good.
That's some really good card advantage. All right, pass back. I love how every single player has their own way of organizing their Dawn. Like, I swear, all of you, I've seen other players where they put the Dawn on top of the character to swing in and overload. And I've seen some people that like to stack like you do in that row. And then some people that just like to stack it underneath it and then attack into it after announcing the color. And it doesn't matter which one of the players, depending on who it is, they all have their own variants of how they stack their Dawn. As a Magic player, I would stack it how Bailey does his, personally. And then I would play it how Greg plays it, with a spread out to show them my cost for each 2 spells here. I say spells, but what is it? Cards?
Card. I mean, it's the same difference.
Yeah. Correct.
Yep. And we're doing the Tashigi into the Bonnie, so that just gets rid of it. Not really
have to use the Brook.
Yeah. Not really worth spending a counter on something like that.
Now, do you think this makes an open play where the Brook could get in to potentially trash Cavendish?
If we have more cost reduction, maybe.
We get 2 from the lead, yeah? And then we just
1 from the lead.
1 from the lead.
Okay, there's another Tashigi. Maybe we can find something off of this.
So currently on board state, how low can we get Cavendish? Just on board state.
On board, we can get him to 4.
Okay. That's definitely not going to be enough.
And we're adding the Hound Blaze off of the Tashigi, so that's another option for removal for the Cavendish. Although that needs to be at 2 cost. So bit more easy than the Brook.
Okay. And still got himself what looks like 6 Dawn left here.
Yep.
As Greg did put him on the play. Something we've seen Greg do quite a bit here.
Yep. And here's the Great Eruption for the Cavendish. So that puts him to 3 cost. So.
Oh, nice. Appreciate that, Greg. If you're out in the chat, thank you for doing that. It makes it a lot easier to understand what's happening here. So basically, that reduced the cost. He's trying to reduce it to 0, yes?
For the Brook to out it, it would have to be cost minus 1, or cost at 1, because the Brook will get rid of the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, there's also just the option of the Houndblaze, which...
We've already seen him in the hand, yeah.
Yeah, which
It's
will bottom deck it, when that seems to be what we're doing.
All right. Wow. I can definitely understand why people say this is an impressive deck. 2 weeks, you said, before it gets banned?
Something like that. It's like right before set 7 that I think this thing gets banned.
Yeah. I would have loved to see more games in here, because I know that there's no deck that ever been created that's just completely unbeatable. I understand that this one has a higher win percentage, but would you say this? I mean, it's just showing so well in this one game that we get, or these 2 games we get to watch. Is this pretty standard in your experience having played against this deck?
Yeah, I mean, this is just all the value in the world.
And there's a reason they're building him up to being one of the big bads in the end here. Sakazuki really just loving to see where the story goes, and some of me just wonders, is he going to turn good? Is there going to be a point where he just realizes that his ultimate justice might not be the way?
I honestly don't think so. I think he might start like coup, but I feel like that's going to be because he doesn't want to be pushed around by a bunch of. I am not going to elaborate because the anime hasn't gotten there yet.
Yep, we're no spoilers here. All right, so we got attack from lead.
Yep, and now we're arresting 2. Jet Pistol, the Rob Lucci.
Okay, doing what Red does best. Controlling that board state with some removal here.
Yep.
Rod Lucci just going to replace that card, I take it? Or is that what Jet Pistol did? It looked like... Oh, that was draw
Jet Pistol KO'd, and then,
draw for turn. Sorry, it was so much in turn with what I just saw. I was wondering if that was part of the effect of Rob Lucci. So we got, looks like 2 in hand. Decent board state. Got to play against another Cavendish.
Yeah, although I'm not sure that's going to be too difficult for Sakazuki to out. All right, yep. There's just...
Bidding that Rob Lucci again. Exactly where he wants it.
And if we have a Moria here, that would go crazy.
Is he doing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Table math? Am I seeing him do that Yu-Gi-Oh! Table math? You see Bailey's hand there? I think he was doing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Table math. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I've seen a few players do that. All right, so we've reduced the Cavendish by 1.
All right. So is that usually... they just do this regardless, or is this an indicator that we're going to see him play some cards to get rid of this Cavendish here?
Usually if they're attacking with lead first, this probably means they want to get rid of it.
Okay. Whereas he could have stacked up those down on the other characters and come for life. Because he's at a safe spot. He just needs to get 2 more attackers through to win this game, essentially. Oh, is this the big bad Gecko?
Probably.
Oh, man. This thing took over the game the last... Yep, here we go, Gecko Moria. Gonna really fill up this field.
We're gonna get the Rob Lucci, and we're gonna get the Suru to -2, and then use the Rob Lucci, put 3 cards bottom of deck, and KO the Cavendish.
Wow. Just, it's such a game turner. Is there anything that is that card that you play that kind of like works like a board wipe in yellow? Can it respond to this board state?
No, because it's 6 cost or less.
Oh, wow.
Moria is 8.
Is there anything in the card game right now that could just basically reset the board on Sakazuki's side?
I guess purple has the option of playing the 10-drop Kaido that's a board nuke, but that doesn't really see a lot of play. And here we're adding Ice Age.
All right, back to the red-green player. What do you do in this situation? He just got to full Dawn. He's got a full grip.
So if we have like a Zoro or something, if we have 2 Zoros, we might be able to. There's an off chance we have a lethal push here
Because of the resources in Sakazuki's hand here.
Well, that's the unknown and why we might not. But if we can play 2 Zoros, swing both connect, and then we're gonna rest 4 to jet pistol the Rob Lucci.
Okay. He's got to do something about this Gecko or Mori, though. This is...
I mean, now it's just like a big guy, which isn't the most... Like, it's obviously not good, but it's not like the most pressing thing.
Be a little bit scared of myself to just like full Dawn crash mode on Gecko. Just really go into lead.
Right.
Lead to lead, try to get a life here.
Yep.
Bait one of those counters, maybe?
Looks like that's 2 done, so...
Yeah.
Yep. Electing to take the card here makes sense. I mean...
Why not? I don't know if I would be too fearful. Well, would you? With 4 Dawn open?
There's the Kid Killer, which I think we searched really early on. So now we're down to 1 life, but I think the game's just over here. Like, because we just put a bunch of Dawn on one thing and then put a bunch of Dawn on another thing, and I think we just have it here.
Yeah. Using that Dawn for more than just playing cards, but also just to load up the attack on these players and get himself easily with 5k here. He can all of these characters can attack.
Yeah.
On lead here. But there is a full grip in Greg's hand here, so he realizes he does have to play around whatever counters he might have in hand.
It depends on the amount of cards on hand.
I saw at least 5 or 6 before he played that kid. So I think he's on 5 or 6.
Okay. Swinging 9, it seems.
Okay. Is this one you just take?
Yeah.
No trigger. It's a shame. Wow.
And we just put everything on the Moria, and I don't think there's enough counters to get rid of it.
Game. Yeah.
That was... Looks like 6,
wow.
7 counters in hand.
2-0 from Bailey. Absolutely impressive gameplay.
That's just the Sakazuki experience.
Yeah. Wow.